What was the best, do you know who I am moment you've ever witnessed? I was working the overnight shift at a 24-hour diner near downtown. The kind of place with sticky menus and bottomless coffee that attracts a really interesting mix at 3 a.m. Drunk college kids, truckers, night shift workers, and, occasionally the wealthy stumbling in from nearby clubs. That particular night, a group of 6 burst through the door, laughing way too loudly. Designer clothes, expensive watches, reeking of top-shelf liquor and entitlement. I mean, you could smell it before they even sat down. They crammed into our largest booth and immediately began snapping their fingers for service. Their ringleader was a man in his 30s with carefully disheveled hair and a blazer that probably cost more than my monthly rent. When I approached with menus, he didn't even look up. 4 mimosas, 2 Bloody Marys, and whatever your kitchen can manage that won't give us food poisoning. His friends snickered like he'd just said something brilliant. I smiled tightly. Well, kitchen's closing in 15 minutes. I'll need actual orders. The man finally looked at me, eyes narrowing. Do you know who I am? Before I could answer, his girlfriend stage whispered, babe, she obviously doesn't. That's why she's serving us instead of us serving her. More laughter. I felt my face burning, but kept my expression neutral. Honestly, I dealt with worse. In the booth directly behind them sat an older woman in scrubs. She'd been there for over an hour, nursing a cup of tea, looking completely exhausted. I noticed her hospital badge, neurosurgery department. As the entitled man continued his "Do you know who I am" speech, detailing his family connections and social media following, the woman in scrubs stood up. She was small, maybe 5 feet tall, with silver-streaked hair pulled back into a practical bun. She turned toward their table and spoke in a quiet voice that somehow commanded the entire diner's attention. I'm Dr. Elaine Chen. 6 hours ago, I removed a malignant tumor from a 9-year-old girl's brain, a procedure that took 11 hours of perfect concentration. Before that, I helped a stroke victim regain the ability to speak. I've held a human brain in my hands and saved lives that were seconds from ending. The table went completely silent. Nobody here knows who you are because you haven't done anything worth knowing. Then she paused. But someday, you might be unconscious on my operating table, and I'll work just as hard to save you as I would anyone else. That's who I am. She placed a 20 under her teacup, gave me a small nod, and walked out. The ringleader's face turned deep red. He opened his mouth, closed it, then opened it again. His girlfriend tugged his sleeve. Let's just go. They shuffled out without ordering, leaving behind nothing but their cheap cologne and wounded pride. Another customer from across the diner walked up to the register. Their bill, he said, handing me a 50. Considerate payment for the show. As I cleared their abandoned table, I found a business card under a napkin. Turns out it belonged to the loud man, some kind of luxury real estate agent. 2 weeks later, Dr. Chen came back during my shift. I brought her tea without even asking. That man's been calling the hospital, she said, while smiling slightly, trying to make an anonymous donation to the children's wing. She took a sip and added softly, some people just need a mirror held up to see themselves clearly. I've seen celebrities throw tantrums and politicians demand special treatment, but honestly, nothing compares to watching quiet, competent silence completely hollow out fake